Hello everyone, David here. So first of all, I want to start off by saying that this video will mostly be unscripted, unlike my last voiceover video. So keep that in mind. So the reason I'm making this video is because I haven't seen a single Luminous guide up on YouTube. At least not like a comprehensive guide, only like a burst guide or whatever. So let's get started. So the first thing So the first thing I'm gonna okay. So the first thing I'm gonna go
2 hours later.
So the first thing I'm gonna go over is the Vmatrix. It looks a bit messy right now, but basically you only have two trios. Very easy. Reflection, Apocalypse and Ender. That will be your mobbing and bossing trios. You don't need anything else other than that. Let me start over. I'm gonna organize this real quick. Okay, so I reorganized it. Um, so this is the order you would want to max your notes um, for bossing mainly. So like I said, you have two trios, very simple. Already went over them. Um, for bossing priority, priority, priority.
Priority.
Okay, for your bossing priority, you wanna go for uh, So for the skill notes, bossing priority, you wanna max baptism first, conduit, orb, mana overload, Freud's, goddess, and just then gate. So all these other skills are not in any particular order. Also make sure to get a 3L form for a pseudo iframe. And for descents, we use pretty much all of them, but the most important ones are decent sharp eyes and speed infusion. Where is it? Right there. So get those first, I would say. I also recommend to put Era Nova on because Armageddon or Self-Bind is actually an iframe. So you would want to use it in sticky situations. So if you use it as a bind, you essentially waste it. You waste the iframe. So having that second bind is very helpful. I guess next I'll be going over your hyper passives. Right now this is my mobbing passives. For mobbing you just want to use all the reflection ones. I have Ender here just for MP when I do MPA and I'm too lazy to switch it. If you're mainly mobbing and if you're cycling gate for some reason, you wanna get the Apocalypse one. So Apocalypse max enemy hit and the gauge fill amount. So instead of these two enders, you would have these two. So for bossing, you wanna go for reflection range, ender range force, ender range up, and the gauge fill amount of Apocalypse. And then you can choose either reflection damage or apocalypse damage. I usually do apocalypse damage because you would charge dark mode more often because sorry, because it would charge dark mode more often than light mode. The reason is, well, I'll go over it uh, later. One other thing that I'm not sure how up to date it is. I used to put reflection and apocalypse on a macro. People say it's faster. I don't know if it's faster, but I always had it like that, so I don't know. The next thing I should mention is that Lumi benefits a lot from buff duration. So in your Legion, you want max buff duration. This is my Legion setup. Yeah, you want as much buff duration as you can get, because I'm sure you already know this, but because buff duration affects your equilibrium, but only your natural equilibrium, meaning when you charge it up. So you can see my equilibrium is like 33 seconds, but it would not affect equalize, which is our hyper skill.
Darkness
This
into
one is
light.
only, I guess, 19 seconds. I swear it used to be less. I don't know. Um, yeah, this is very unprofessional. Bear with me. One thing about my Legion board is I put crit rate. So I put all this crit rate here instead of ID because I wanted to get rid of Phantom Link. Normally we would put it into ID as needed, but since I think I have enough, I just put it over to crit rate so I can swap out my Phantom Link, which I kinda can't right now because I redid my artifact to farming basically. While we're here, let's go over the artifact. So your first you should be damage, boss damage, attack power, magic attack, whatever. The second one is buff duration, critical damage, and all stat. And your third one should be critical rate, ID, and skill cooldown. The skill cooldown only affects your AB link, which is really nice if you get it to pop with that low percentage. It also affects your ender, but obviously you wouldn't need it in equilibrium. So the priority is as I have it here. So this will be first, the damage, boss damage, magic attack. Second will be buff duration, critical damage, and all set. And your third should be critical rate, ID, and cooldown chance. So I guess I'll also go over the inner ability. So the best in slot inner ability is 1 attack speed, and then a unique line of buff duration. 38 is the max. For the second line you can go boss damage, or you could also go the 8% damage abnormal, whatever the abnormal status damage. I prefer the boss damage because it's like 2% more damage overall. Might be harder to get though. But yeah, this is how perfected inner ability looks for Lumi. As you can see, I don't have that much ID. The reason is, um, Ender has a 45% ID passive on it. Also a 100% crit, but we'll go over that in a bit. Okay, and Baptism has 100% ID, so you really don't need that much ID. The only reason you would go any higher than like 91 to 93 is for your origin skill. So if I equip my familiars, I should be around almost 96. Plus Mage Link, it's like above 96. So it's more than enough. Okay, so another thing you don't have to worry about, at least early, is critical rate. If you don't have 6 job unlock, you don't need any more than 85% critical rate. Because Connect has 15%, Baptism has 100%, and Ender has 100%, and also has 100%. So the only thing that would benefit from crit rate is Reflection and Apocalypse, uh, and it doesn't do a whole lot for your full rotation. So when you unlock 6 job, you definitely want to go to 100% crit rate, because that's very important for your origin, obviously. Okay, so I'll go over link skills real quick. These are your boss and link skills. And Cane Link, time to prepare is... the fuck? You only use Cane Link if you don't need Phantom for the crit rate. And actually I redid my artifacts, I actually need it right now. So let me equip it real quick. So these are your go-to link skills. Just copy whatever that is. For mobbing, this is my preset. I don't use Iron Link because it sucks. Want to make sure you have Mage Link paired up with the Thief's Link because we don't have a debuff on our skills, on any of our skills. So you want to make sure you get a debuff from the Mage Link. So if you don't need speed of reading, if you're comfortable enough, you switch this out for Xenon Link, Hybrid Logic. But yeah, I use it because I suck at bossing. So let's go over some training, how to train as a Lumi. It's pretty basic, honestly. So to train as a Lumi, you put your air fountain wherever you need it, and you guessed right, you just reflection and move left and right, and that's about it. No one really cycles gate these days. It's all about that reflection. But now I'm not one-shotting because I don't have a reflection spread, which is very important for mobbing. Basically what it does, it's whenever reflection hit, the next hit and then the next after that will deal less and less damage. So you want this passive skill to completely negate that effect, so you can deal full damage to all the mobs that reflection hits. So you just move left and right. Um, you can cycle gate using equalize and just put gate wherever you need it, and you can start in one spot. You can just keep moving left and right. I just keep moving left and right. Scale that thing real quick. So there's actually an interesting way of keeping gate up. Um, it involves third job and second job skills, surprisingly. Um, Spectral light and pressure void. Let me charge my equilibrium real quick. Basically, you can just charge faster using these skills because you don't one-shot the mobs. Because you won't be one-shotting the mobs, most likely. So you can just charge your equilibrium like that. And then basically place gate wherever. That's not a real rotation. I'm just demonstrating here. So you could just charge your dark mode with pressure void. As long as you have summons and you can clear the waves properly. So that's just a way to keep gate up like almost 100% of the time if you wanted to do so for whatever reason. Another skill that I forgot to mention is Morning Star. I never used this skill. I put it on a hotkey just for the sake of this video, but basically what you can do with it is cast it, and this would activate your orb passive. So basically you only use it if you want to like keep using reflection and just cast it, clear some mobs on the right, and that would also activate your liberation orb passive. If it's one shot in, it's pretty damn good. Some people use it for the rotation, but I legit never do. Just keep in mind that you can add it to your training rotation if you really want to. You don't need to boost this, however, because the skill stays for the longest time, and it also has a lot of hits, so you shouldn't worry about the damage. It would most likely clear the enemies before a second spawn wave. So yeah, the training's pretty simple. Just reflection and chill. I would also highly recommend that when you can, you get the XP obtained from artifact, because it does give you um, max AoE skill targets +1. This basically adds up max enemy hit to, most importantly, your reflection. So it could hit more mobs and you can clear waves more comfortably. You can also go for more AoE on your farming inner ability, which I'm gonna go for in Sunday. So you can have 2 more max enemy hits for your reflection. There's also like other skills. I think it works for the Liberation or passive, and I'm assuming it does work for Sojourner's lightning form or dawn form, or dusk form, which are basically just a passive thing that goes around the map. So that's about it for training. I guess Lumis Tech, if you wanna call it that. There isn't a lot really. What we do have is we can jump, we can animation cancel our teleport in equilibrium. So you can basically jump and teleport, and it's really damn fast. You can also teleport twice in equilibrium in the air, so you can just spam it like that. It's really helpful in some cases. Other than that, I don't think there's any more tech tips. Follow me. It's really just a very simple class. We do have what's that skill? Flash blink. This is just a blink basically. You can use it in town to basically blink around. Um, so another question that may arise is this skill, Equilibrium Liberation. Because I'm pretty sure when you create a Lumi, it doesn't have it set on automatic. So you would need to use this skill. I don't have a key for it, but you would need to use this skill in order to go into Equilibrium. So if I don't have it right clicked, so if I don't have it right clicked, I will need to press that in order to go into Equilibrium. So if I cast Ender or Baptism or Conduit, I won't go into Equilibrium. This can be somewhat useful if you want to save, like, for some reason your Conduit and Baptism without actually bursting. But I always use it on auto mode, just how I used to play Lumi, and it's way easier for me. So if it's on auto, the second I press Ender or any Equilibrium skill, I would go into Equilibrium. Having it on its normal mode can actually be useful for Culvert for a certain strat. It's not actually needed, but it can make things easier. So let's go over the utility a little bit. A very important skill that you have is called Shadow Shell. What it does, it basically nullifies 7 status resistance. It does not work on Black Mage curses, but it does work on pretty much almost every other curse in the game, or status in the game. So if you use it, as you can see, you will get 7 instances of it that can nullify status. So, for example, if I just go to a map, an empty map, with an AFK mob, as you can see, I would not get the poison lock, which you normally get. So, as you can see, it goes down. I have 7 instances of it, and only now I would get the potion lock. So this skill works for blindness, it works for stuns, uh, and basically almost any statuses in the game. It does have a pretty long cooldown though, a cooldown of 240 seconds. Uh, Another great tool that you have as a Lumi is Ray of Redemption. This is a full heal with a cooldown of 5 seconds. So yeah, you can just heal up to full So yeah, it just heals you up to full, and it also heals party members. But keep in mind that you need to really hug your party member. Just get in there and give him a big old hug, so you can actually heal them because the range on it is fucking garbage, honestly. And that's basically one of the only support Lumi has. The other one being this meditation skill that gives 40 magic attack to mages. Yeah, you're just that's your only support skill. This and the heal. 40 magic attack to only mages. So the next utility that we have is, where is it? Inner light. This basically ignores darkness or blindness, whatever it's called. Basically, if you know when you're in gloom, uh, when you're in darkness, there would be like like a black oval on your screen, and you could only see a circle around your character. So we as Loomies ignore that completely. So yeah. The next utility and the last one I believe would be Armageddon, which is just a bind and an iframe. You could also use it while moving, which I will demonstrate. But we'll wait for the cooldown. Your next iframe would be Ethereal Form, which is not a real iframe, it's a damage reduction. So you can still die by like Black Mage curses, or you could be Gauge in Seren, for example. It's not a real iframe. And you do have another, you do have a second real iframe, which comes from Freud's, which is very unreliable since you need to stack it 6 times in successions, and if you miss a single instance of it, the cooldown goes. So the cooldown gets increased, or like gets reset. So if you for example on stack 5 and you miss your window to pop Freud's, you basically wasted the entire skill and you have to wait 4 minutes for it to be up again, and then another like 2 minutes to actually charge it. But it's very good because you get an iframe for 30 seconds. 30 whole seconds. Plus you get all these other buffs like boss damage, magic attack, all stats, status resistance, and skill cooldowns. Okay, so Armageddon's back up. So you can basically move and cast Armageddon. So you can just, it's very helpful. For example, in Lucid, when there's a dragon, you can just use it and go across to where the dragon is, where the safe spot is. Oh, another thing is we have a teleport mastery kind of thing, teleport boost. This skill is a toggle, and this will increase the range of your teleport. So yeah, that's kind of new. So I'll just go real quick on how to burst as a Lumi. It's very simple. First you charge up your equilibrium. So once your equilibrium is up, you pop your buffs in order. So heroic, goddess. I don't have. Wait. So okay. So heroic and then goddess. Your AB, your ring. Hello, future David here. I don't know how I completely forgot to pop orb, but yeah, you pop that before you use all your other shit. Specifically before A building and war. And then you just baptism twice, conduit, and cast your origin. And baptism again, and just spam ender. Also cast Gate of Light whenever you can. Yeah, that's basically burst. You should probably cast your will and Seren skill before bursting. But yeah, that's basically it. Use baptism off cooldown and conduit off cooldown. If you have a lot of buff duration, you could fit 2 conduits in one equilibrium. I mean, you can fit 2 like equilibrium conduits in one equilibrium, if that makes sense. You also want to make sure you Freud's is charged for more damage and a 30-second iframe. What I would normally do before I go into bosses is charge dark mode first. The reason why is dark mode is a lot faster to charge because this passive skill that increases the gauge fill amount. So I would go into dark mode, charge before I enter a boss, then I would burst. Okay, so you cast 2 baptism because you get the baptism. So when your baptism off cooldown, you can use it, and if you enter equilibrium, you can use it again because when you enter equilibrium, the cooldown resets. So I would just burst, and then when equilibrium is off, let's just pretend it's off, I use my equalize and burst again. Ignore that. I burst again, and then this would put me in dark mode back. So you can charge your equilibrium faster this way. So as you can see, I'm now in dark mode again. Because I entered in dark mode, I used my equilibrium. That puts me in light mode, and then I use my equalize to put me back into dark mode. So that's just a quick tip to prepare before entering a boss. So I want to show another burst strat, you could call it. This one is specifically for roar. What I do is I stack my fruits, in this case up to stack 5. Then I pop all of my buffs beside my roar. I cast baptism twice. And then I pop my roar and conduit and I origin. Because if I would just sit there and, you know, pop my roar and everything, I might die or I might get kicked out of my roar. And yes, you do a bit less damage because your baptism hits out of roar. But this strat is mostly about playing it safe and managing to stack your fruits up to 6 stacks so we can get the iframe, and then keep bursting as I'm doing here. And then once your iframe runs out, you can just pop a regular bind, so you make use of 2 binds. You can see I accidentally cast Morning Starter because I changed my keybind from my Era Nova to it for the sake of the video. Also make sure to use Abling off cooldown. You can use it up to 2 more times before your next burst is up. And since we have so much buff duration, you benefit a lot from it. Another question that may arise is, does Lumi use a CD hat? And the answer is yes and no. Okay, so according to LumiCode, which is the Lumi Discord, I recommend you join it if you wanna know more about Lumi or ask any question, and people will be happy to help you out. So according to the Discord, a -4 CD-AT is only 1% final damage stronger than a 3-line hat. The reason you would go for a cooldown hat is it lowers baptism cooldown, so you would need one less ender, yeah, whopping one less ender to cast baptism again. It also helps your conduit a bit, and it helps Freud's being a little bit easier to cast, or a little bit faster. So if you get a -4 and a stat line, or just any -4, yeah, you can keep that. But it's just not that big of a difference really. For you WSE, you want to go for 3-line mat on everything. Basically 9-0-0, meaning 9 magic attacks, 0 boss damage and 0 IED. I only have 3-line emblem right now. I do have 3 lines of boss, so optimally I would want to get a 3-line magic attack on my secondary, and also on my Genesis weapon, which I'm leaving next month. Optimally. I think if you don't have boss farms, you would probably benefit a bit more from having some boss lines on your WSE. You don't need ID at all, so if you ever get ID on your emblem, reroll that shit. So just a quick quality of life tip. Most people don't know that, but you can actually minimize the equilibrium thingy. I have it open for, I don't know, I'm just used to it. But yeah, most people don't realize that because there's what looks like an hidden button. Like there's literally nothing on the UI, but yeah, there's a button right there. You click it and you minimize it. So, how much attack speed does Lumi need? Well, all of it, basically. Uh, what a green pot, a decent speed infusion, and an inner ability, you get up to level 10 attack speed. The soft cap is actually level 8, but we can, since we're in GMS, we can break that cap. Having even more attack speed than that can benefit you even further, like for example a Kana in your party or a Zero, etc. Okay, so basically the more attack speed we have, the more enders we can use while doing it faster. And that also means charging your baptism faster. So that's overall a pretty big damage increase. I hope this video was helpful for any upcoming Lumi mains or existing Lumi mains. All of the information in this guide is from my own experience as a Lumi main and from the official Lumi Discord. That's it, buff Lumi, and I hope we don't get fucked with the revamp, and peace out.